What's going on, everybody? So I'm not feeling the best. I have a really bad fever right now. Um, but discipline. I told you guys I was gonna give you guys a trade recap every day, so still got to do it despite not even feeling like doing it. So we're gonna go ahead and review all of my trades from today. And if you actually want to see the live execution of those trades, then just go check out the live trading channel, pretty much on my YouTube. You can pretty much go back and watch damn near every single live trading session I've had. So let's dive right in. First things first, Tesla. So I noticed Tesla, we had this very aggressive price action to the downside here. And the beautiful thing about Tesla is Tesla doesn't necessarily care what the market's doing. As you notice, Tesla, look at where we closed, right? We have a gap fill down here. This is ultimately where I'm going to look to close out my position once we hit this gap fill down at 431. But Tesla pretty much non-stop just was downside all day long. Versus if you look at NQ, NQ, we were pretty damn bullish, literally all day long, literally 9:30 out the gate. So that is a good indicator that you are trading the right ticker and you're trading it in the right direction. The fact is that Tesla has been nonstop down the entire day despite ES and NQ nonstop ripping all day long. Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. I can't stress it out enough. You need to be looking at your trades as a single trade and not basing it always on futures because more times than not, if you're trading certain names like Tesla or let me think, a Nvidia, for an example, when there's a lot of liquidity in the market and these stocks specifically want to expand, you're going to see it expand despite NQ or ES doing the complete opposite. So here's a great example right now. Tesla, I marked out the call trigger. The call trigger was 449. The put trigger was 445. And PT1, so we ended up trimming once we hit 438, pretty much this target down here. The second target, you'll probably see this trade recap or the same trade tomorrow for tomorrow trade recap. The full TP is this gap fill down here, down at 431. Next, we got to go take a look at ES here. Oh, wrong chart. So let's go take a look at ES. So we did take some wins and we did take some losses here, and sadly ended a 15-day win streak on ES. So let's go down to the lower time frames. Actually, we're going to start with the NQ first. So NQ, if you want to see this trade, I call this literally live. So go to the live stream from 10 a.m. this morning and you'll pretty much see this trade, exactly how I thought of it, why I entered, everything of that. And you'll be able to see the live execution, which I think matters a whole lot more. So looking at this right now, if you come here and look at the 5-minute, pretty much I have a level here on the 5-minute for a retest of this range. Now, price retested this range specifically. Price retested this range here, and I didn't really get a good entry. So I looked for the second best entry. Oftentimes, if you miss your entry and it's like a really good setup, you're probably not going to get that pullback that you want to see. So that's kind of what happened here. So we go down to the lower time frames, and if you come look at the 1-minute, this is why I went long. So we took some QQQ calls, made like 60% on these. Overall, good trade. So price retested the range that I wanted to go long on, but I was literally 1 second, or I guess technically 1 minute too late. And I had to take the second best entry. The second best entry was a pullback back into this fair value gap range right here. So as price pulls back in, it literally taps us in perfectly and we get nonstop expansion to the upside. Overall, really simple, easy trade. And I didn't even hold it to this buy side liquidity. The main reason why is I call it out on live as well. I figured NQ was going to kind of give this shitty price action where it goes very close to taking out your PT and then pulls back. So even if we held to our take profit, eventually we probably would have only been up maybe 40% here, despite we were able to trim for 60% over here. So that's something to learn when you're trading options. If price is going to continuously retrace or potentially consolidate, your best chance of trimming or taking profits is on the initial move up. I have enough experience, and pretty much I told everybody on live as well. You can go back when you watch the live. You can pretty much see where I tell everybody, hey, NQ is probably going to do some bullshit and not take the TP right now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these, and basically we were able to capitalize on the 60% move. Next, this trade ended up losing, and honestly, looking back at it, we probably didn't have to stop out, but it is what it is. So why I did stop out of this trade is because price ended up closing above this 882 level. I didn't really want to see price close above that level. So we got into some puts roughly around like 30 cents. And then ultimately I did close these once price closed above this 882 range and stopped out. Ultimately, price did come back and the trade did work out. But it is what it is. It's part of the game. It's part of trading. Sometimes you kind of might psych yourself out of trading. And don't let that discourage you. You know, that's part of the game. You live, you learn, you move on. That's why we do trade recaps. That's why we journal our trades, things of that nature, right? You always want to be learning. Even if you have a trade like this today, there's an opportunity to learn and come back tomorrow better than ever. So we end up taking a loss on this, and the trade eventually does work out. So the reason for this trade specifically was this purple range. You can see we're kind of just consolidating in this range. So once price broke below this range right here on the 5-minute time frame, that was my entry to go long. And ultimately, I wanted to just take it down to this sell side liquidity and then eventually this sell side liquidity. With price was just kind of consolidating, moving slow and steady. And it wasn't until the 350 algo until price finally started to expand. But by then, I was already stopped out. Now, because of this trade, if you look at ES technically never really shifted bearish, despite NQ shifted bearish. So that's why I took the shorts. I took the shorts on NQ because it was clearly bearish. And if you look at ES technically speaking was bullish. So once I got stopped out of the shorts, I tried longs on ES because ES never showed any signs of being bearish just yet. And ultimately, we did get stopped out as well once the 350 algo did kick in. And once the algo came, pretty much as you see, price just came down very aggressively, ultimately stopping us out for a loss. But that's part of the game. So we did take 2 wins, 2 losses. It happens. The most important thing is having risk management. If you have good risk management, you know, you shouldn't be red on the day. You should have good risk management, always aiming for a 2-to-1 risk to reward. And with a 2-to-1 risk to reward, you only need to win 34% of your trades to be green. 33%, you're break even. 34%, you're now green. So make sure that you're incorporating risk management into your trades. Overall, I hope you guys are learning something from these trade recaps. Make sure to check us out on YouTube. We go live every single day at 10 a.m. and we go live every single day at 3 p.m. for Power Hour. So make sure to hit that subscribe, smash that notifications button so you can get notified the moment I go live. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.